And then one day you wake up and you realize, we're not fighting, nothing is wrong, but we feel more like business partners than lovers. Welcome to School of Wife, where we treat marriage like the high stakes, high reward life skill that it actually is. Okay, today's episode, this one might sting a little. I'm just going to tell you that up front. We're talking about something no one warns successful women about. How competence, that thing that makes you exceptional everywhere else, can quietly suffocate intimacy at home. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, right? You're thinking, wait, being good at things is bad for my marriage? Not exactly. But stay with me because this is important. So let's talk about the pattern. So let me ask you something. How did you get to where you are in your career? Let me guess. You anticipated, you prepared, you saw what needed to happen before anyone told you, and you filled it in, you filled the gaps in. You solved the problems and you kept things moving. And that worked, right? That's what got you promoted. That's what earns you respect. At work, we call that leadership. But here's the thing nobody tells you. At home, that same instinct can become a trap. Let me explain what I mean. You see something that needs to be done, and you do it. Then you see something else that needs to be done, and you handle it. And slowly, without anyone deciding this consciously, handling things becomes your entire role in the relationship. You're the one who remembers, the one who plans, the one who notices, the one who keeps everything running. But somewhere along the way, and this is the part that stings, you stopped being pursued. You became the fixer, not the person, the wanted. I want you to sit with that for a second because I don't think anyone says this out loud. You didn't ask for this role. You stepped into it because someone had to, and you're capable of doing it. It's what you do. But you know what? The cost is real. Let me paint you a picture, and I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar. You notice the groceries running low, you order them. You sense your spouse is stressed about work, you give him space. You yourself feel a little disconnected lately, but you tell yourself, it's temporary. We'll reconnect after I'm done with this project. We'll reconnect once the kids are a little older, when things calm down. Does that sound familiar to you? Here's actually what's happening. You're not withdrawing from your marriage. You're adapting. You're being reasonable. You're managing expectations. That feels mature, right? That feels like the grown-up thing to do, huh? But here's the cost. And I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this. Intimacy getting deferred is a problem. And once it keeps getting deferred, that becomes your default. You keep waiting for the right time to reconnect. But you know what? That time never comes because life doesn't calm down. It just keeps moving, and so do you. And then one day you wake up and you realize, we're not fighting, nothing is wrong, but we feel more like business partners than lovers. And I hear this all the time from women who are crushing it professionally, women who have everything together, who would never let a project at work run on autopilot, but somehow their marriage has been on autopilot for years. Now, that's not a character flaw, it's a pattern. And we all know that patterns can be changed. So let's talk about what's actually going on here. Competence is what is needed to keep systems running. But intimacy, that requires something entirely, completely different. Intimacy needs moments that are, and this is hard to hear for high achievers, unproductive, unnecessary, unrewarded. Well, except relationally. I know. Everything in you wants to optimize, to make things efficient, to solve the problem. But here's the truth: you cannot optimize your way to intimacy. You cannot schedule connection into a 15-minute block and expect it to stay in that block and feel meaningful. You can't treat marriage like a project with deliverables. Intimacy requires you to slow down, to be present without an agenda, to let moments unfold without trying to control them. And for women like us, yes, including me, I'm preaching to the choir, that feels inefficient, maybe even uncomfortable. But that discomfort is actually the doorway where connection lives. Here's your prescription. I don't do theory without practice. So here are the 3 things you can do this week, starting today. It's not big conversations. It's not a marriage retreat. It's not waiting for him to change. It's just small shifts that create real movement. Number 1, stop solving his problems. This one is really simple, but it's going to feel unnatural at first. The next time your husband vents about something, work stress, a frustrating situation, whatever, I want you to resist the urge to fix it. Don't start strategizing in your head as he's speaking. Don't offer solutions. Don't even give advice. Instead, I want you to say this. That sounds really hard. Tell me more. That's it, just those words. And then this is the important part. Actually listen. Not while forming your response, not while thinking of solutions. Just receive what he's sharing. Why does this matter? Because when you immediately jump to solving, you're being helpful, but you're also subtly communicating, I'm the capable one here. And over time, that dynamic erodes something. He stops sharing, he stops reaching, he handles things himself. When you just listen, when you let him feel heard without being managed, you create space for him to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is the currency of intimacy. Number 2, create a no purpose moment. This one might make you twitch. I'm warning you now. I want you to schedule 20 minutes this week with your husband. No agenda, no logistics, no decisions to make, no kids around if possible. Just presence. Sit on the porch together if it's not too cold outside. Take a walk around the block. Lie in bed for an extra few minutes. And here's the key. Don't fill the silence with tasks. Don't use it to catch up on scheduling. Don't make it productive. Just be together. Inefficiently, unproductively, on purpose. I know this sounds almost too simple, but please hear me out. Your nervous system has been in task mode for how long? Probably years, maybe decades even. It's forgotten what unstructured connection feels like. This 20 minutes isn't about fixing anything. It's about remembering that you're not just partners in running a household. You're 2 people who chose each other. Number 3, ask for something you actually want. Okay, this is the hard one, and I saved it for last on purpose. Here's what I've noticed about competent women. We stop asking. Somewhere along the line, we decided it was easier to just handle things ourselves. We lowered our expectations from everyone else. We adapted. We stopped wanting out loud. Maybe it felt vulnerable to ask. Maybe we got tired of being disappointed. Maybe we told ourselves, it's fine, I don't really need that anyway. But here's what happens when you stop asking. You stop being known. Your husband can't meet needs he doesn't know you have. He can't pursue you if you stopped giving him something to pursue. So this week, I want you to ask for one thing you actually want. Not need, want. And I'll give you some examples because I know this is hard. This is hard even for me. One example. I'd love it if you plan something for us this weekend. Surprise me. Another ask. I want 10 minutes of your full attention. No phones. Just us. Say it out loud, even if it feels awkward, even if you're not sure he'll follow through. Because here's what I want you to understand. Asking is not weakness. It's an invitation. And intimacy runs on invitation. When you stop inviting, you stop connecting. So, let me bring this home. Competence isn't the enemy. I want to be clear about that. Your ability to anticipate, to handle things, to lead, that is a gift. But it's not enough for intimacy. Your marriage doesn't need you to do more. It needs you to be more available, more present, more open, more willing to be seen, not just to manage. And what's the shift? The shift is it doesn't require your husband to change first. It doesn't require a weekend away. It doesn't require a big conversation. It just requires you to try something different. So this week, stop solving, create space, and ask for something. Small moves, real big impact. Next episode, we're talking about drift versus direction, how good marriages go flat without anyone noticing, and how to reverse it before real damage is done. Subscribe to School of Wife, and I'll see you next time.